guys, it's TheBaker back at you with another video. Now in today's video we're going to be looking at the best player from each draft pick in the first round of the NFL draft. Now if you do like this video, make sure to hit that like button and also go down there and hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 40 subscribers on this channel and 7 subscribers on my second channel. Link will be in the description. 90 or you have to get there. Anyways, if you wouldn't mind, go follow me on my socials. Instagram is at 456YT. Twitter is at 456, and so is TikTok, and Twitch is 456, and this will also be a collab with TheBaker Plays. Our other collab will be in the description. Rather than that, let's get started.
The first pick in the draft, the Indianapolis Colts select quarterback, University of Tennessee, Peyton Manning.
First round pick, we have Peyton Manning. The 5-time MVP gets the nod over John Elway in a close call. He won 2 Super Bowls and played in 4. He is one of the all-time greats. None less to say. And for the honorable mentions, we have Earl Campbell, O.J. Simpson, John Elway, Leroy Selman, and Bruce Smith.
Giants first round selection, Lawrence Taylor, linebacker, North Carolina.
Next, we have Lawrence Taylor, and he revolutionized the position of outside linebacker and is one of 2 defensive players to ever win the MVP. And our honorable mentions are Randy White, Eric Dickerson, Marshall Faulk, Von Miller, and Tony Dorsett.
Detroit Lions select Barry Sanders, running back of Oklahoma State.
And for the number 3 pick, we have Barry Sanders, one of the 4 men to rush for 15,000 yards in his career, and he did it in less seasons than the rest of them. For honorable mentions, we have Anthony Munoz, Cortez Kennedy, Larry Fitzgerald, and Cloud Humphrey. And the final honorable mention is Joe Thomas.
Okay, so for number 4, I couldn't find a clip of where he was drafted, but next up we have Walter Payton, and he gets the nod over Mean Joe Green after rushing for 16,726 yards, the second most in NFL history. For honorable mentions, we have Mean Joe Green, John Hanna, Jonathan Ogden, and Charles Woodson.
Atlanta Falcons first round choice, Deion Sanders, cornerback, Florida State.
And for the best number 5 pick, we have Deion Sanders. Considered the best corner in the league by many, he was a 9-time first-team All-Pro. The honorable mentions are Mike Haynes, Junior Seau, Patrick Peterson, and LaDainian Tomlinson.
Sixth pick in the first round, the Seattle Seahawks select Walter Jones, offensive tackle from Florida State.
Next up, we have Walter Jones, and he started in 180 games for the Seattle Seahawks and made 9 Pro Bowls as Seattle's rock on the left side of the line. For honorable mentions, we have Jim Covert, Floyd Little, Robert Brazil, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, James Lofton, and John Riggins.
With the 7th pick in the 2007 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Adrian Peterson, running back, Oklahoma.
And for the best number 7 pick, we have Adrian Peterson, the first active player on our list. He scored for 111 touchdowns, 14K yards, and the honorable mentions are Champ Bailey, Sterling Sharp, Phil Simms, Bryant Young.
I couldn't find a clip, but at number 8 we have Ronnie Lott, and he was a key member of the San Francisco 49ers dynasty of the 80s, and he won 4 Super Bowls and was a first-team All-Pro 8 times in that span. For honorable mentions, we have Willie Roaf, Mike Munchak, and Larry Zonka.
for the best number 9 pick, we have Bruce Matthews. He played 296 games in 19 seasons. He was part of one of the most successful NFL families. And for the honorable mentions, we have Brian Urlacher, Luke Kuechly, Kevin Williams, and Tyron Smith.
Next up, I couldn't find the clip. Again, don't get mad at me. But next up, we had Rob Woodson. And the 1993 Defensive Player of the Year began his career as a cornerback, then transitioned to safety, being named All-Pro at both positions, which is pretty remarkable if you ask me. For honorable mentions, we have Marcus Allen, Jerome Bettis, and Terrell Suggs.
With the 11th pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select J.J. Watt, defensive end, Wisconsin.
And for the best number 11 pick, we have J.J. Watt. He is a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year and one of the best players in the decade. For honorable mentions, we have Big Ben Roethlisberger, Michael Irvin, Patrick Willis, Dwight Freeney. And the final honorable mention is DeMarcus Ware.
With the 12th pick in the first round, Tampa Bay selects defensive tackle, University of Miami, Warren Sapp.
Next up, we have Warren Sapp, and he had 96.5 sacks and was a central figure in turning the Bucs from a laughingstock into a Super Bowl champion. For honorable mentions, we have Marshawn Lynch, Haloti Ngata, and Fletcher Cox.
The 13th selection in the first round, Houston has traded its pick to Kansas City. The Kansas City Chiefs have selected Tony Gonzalez, tight end, University of California.
And for the best number 13 pick of all time, we have Tony Gonzalez. Is a 6-time All-Pro and holds the record for tight ends with 15K yards. He is also a 14-time Pro Bowler. The honorable mentions are Franco Harris, Kellen Winslow, and Aaron Donald.
With the 14th pick in the 2007 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Darrelle Revis, cornerback, Pittsburgh.
Next, we have Darrelle Revis, and he gets the nod over Hall of Famer Jim Kelly. Revis will likely join Kelly in Canton one day, and at his peak, Revis was the most dominant cornerback in all of football. For honorable mentions, we have Jim Kelly, Earl Thomas, Randy Gradisher, and John Jefferson.
And for the best 15th pick of all time, we have Alan Page. There was pretty much no question for this one. He was one of the only defensive players to win league MVP, other than Lawrence Taylor, winning it in 1971. And the only honorable mention is Albert Hainsworth.
Go 49ers. Select 16th pick in the first round. Wide receiver, Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley.
Next up, we have Jerry Rice, and the greatest wide receiver to ever play the game is a no-brainer here. Rice won 3 Super Bowls and was a first-team All-Pro selection 10 times. For honorable mentions, we have Troy Polamalu, Zach Martin, and Gene Washington.
Under the trade that I just described, Dallas selects Emmitt Smith, running back from Florida.
And for the best number 17 pick, we have Emmitt Smith. He won 3 Super Bowls with the Cowboys and is the NFL's all-time lead rusher. Honorable mentions are Gene Upshaw and Steve Hutchinson.
Next up, we have Art Monk. Monk is the only Hall of Famer selected here, and the active players here are not on a track to Canton. Monk won 3 Super Bowls and was the first player with 900 career receptions. For honorable mentions, we have Marcus Peters and Marquise Pouncey. And for the best 19th pick, we have Randall McDaniel.
Now, it was hard to compare him to Marvin Harrison, but we're going to give him the edge just because his skill at this position. And for the honorable mentions, we have Marvin Harrison, who else? Roger Wellhero, and Joey Browner.
Next up, we have Jack Youngblood, and he's best known for playing in the Super Bowl with a broken leg. But his career was much more than that, as he was a 5-time All-Pro selection, first-team All-Pro selection, and he is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. For honorable mentions, we have Steve Atwater and Mike Quick.
The Minnesota Vikings have selected wide receiver from Marshall University, Randy Moss.
And for the best number 21 pick, we have Randy Moss, one of the most physical wide receivers of his time. He won Comeback Player of the Year on his year with the Patriots. For honorable mentions, we have Lynn Swann, Chandler Jones, and Vince Wilfork.
Next up, we have Harris Barton. Barton was a big piece of 3 Super Bowl teams. He started 134 of his 138 career NFL games and was a part of a great San Francisco offense. For honorable mentions, we have Jack Reynolds, Hanford Dixon, and Andre Rison.
And for the best number 23 pick, we have Ray Guy. Now, you don't see many punters go in the first round, but he was the greatest punter of all time. And for the honorable mentions, we have Ozzie Newsome and Ty Law.
Next up, we have Ed Reed. Ed Reed was a ball hawk who could run sideline to sideline and picked off 64 passes in his career. He was the 2004 Defensive Player of the Year. For honorable mentions, we have Aaron Rodgers and David DeCastro.
And for the best number 25 pick, we have Ted Washington. Now, this man, being one of the weakest players on our list, plugged defenses for 17 years straight. Honorable mentions, we have Stanley Morgan, Donta Hightower, and John Beason.
With the 25th selection in the first round, the Baltimore Ravens have selected Ray Lewis, linebacker, University of Miami.
Next up, we have Ray Lewis. A first-round selection in the Ravens' first ever draft, Lewis was a centerpiece of one of the best defenses in football for 17 seasons. He went to the Pro Bowl in 13 of those 17 seasons. For honorable mentions, we have Joe Delamieux, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, Alan Vanessa, and Clay Matthews.
Miami Dolphins, first round selection. The Dolphins select quarterback Dan Marino of Pittsburgh.
And for the best 27 pick, we have Dan Marino. It's surprising that he went that far into the draft without getting drafted earlier. He threw for 61,000 yards in his career. This one was one of a no question. And for honorable mentions, we have DeAndre Hopkins.
Tampa Bay, with the 28th pick in the first round, has selected linebacker from Florida State, Derek Brooks.
Tampa Bay has 2 players on this list taken in the same draft, Brooks and Warren Sapp. Both transformed the Buccaneers with the way they played the defense. That is some 1-2 punch. For honorable mentions, we have Darryl Green and Joe Staley.
And for the best number 25 pick, we have Steve Wisniewski. I don't think I pronounced that right. Dallas traded him to the Raiders after drafting him, and he started for the Raiders for 13 seasons. He went to multiple Pro Bowls and was a 2-time All-Proer. And for the honorable mentions, we have Nick Mangold, Harrison Smith, and Chris Spielman.
Next up, we have Reggie Wayne, a go-to guy for Peyton Manning. Wayne is the 10th all-time in career receiving yards. He led the league in receiving yards in 2007 and was a 6-time Pro Bowler. The only honorable mention is Eric Allen.
And for the best number 31 pick of all time, we have Curly Culp. Excuse me. He was the anchor of the Chiefs' defensive line in the late 1960s and the early 1970s. He was Defensive Player of the Year in 1975. For honorable mentions, we have Nolan Cromwell, Cameron Hayward, and Bill Bergey.
For the last pick in the first round, we have Drew Brees. Brees rewrites the record book every time he plays. He is the current leader in career passing yards with 77,000 and career passing touchdowns with 547. For honorable mentions, we have Henry Ellard, Logan Mankins, Ray Donaldson, and Fred Smarless. Well guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. And also go down there and hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 40 subscribers on my main channel, aka this channel, and 10 subscribers on my second channel, link in the description, as always. I need all you have to get there. Other than that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.